Cross-curricular Issues by Josephine Biggs. In 2009, a review by Rose of the primary curriculum stated that cross-curricular studies may help reinforce subject knowledge and encourage teachers and students to think more creatively. Using good subject teaching with cross-curricular studies may help children not just know what to study, but also how to study as part of an engaging and rewarding process by using their first-hand experiences picked up from lessons. In 2010, the Department of Education issued a paper called The Importance of Teaching, where it also stressed that subject knowledge needed to be taught in a more creative and exciting way to bring the curriculum to life, and that children need to develop ways in which they can apply and help retain the knowledge that they had learned. So could using cross-curricular studies work? For example, is it possible to teach some aspects of the English National Curriculum within the Science National Curriculum, more specifically developing spoken language within science teaching? There are similarities between the two subjects, such as in science children are encouraged to present findings from their scientific work clearly, and in spoken language they need to be taught how to speak clearly, and also gain and maintain the interest of the reader and to participate in discussions, as noted by the Department of Education in their 2013 National Curriculum. So can they be taught together? One way to involve an English aspect of spoken language into science is by using creative investigations, where children take ownership over their scientific investigations, and so it becomes pupil-led, as discussed by Holligan 2013. Creative investigations such as which stone makes the biggest splash, or which fruit survives better after being dropped, or even do ants prefer salty or sweet food. The way that the investigation is carried out incorporates all of these spoken language aspects as defined by the Department of Education 2013. Holligan also discusses how it provides lots of opportunities for class discussion when constructing, predicting, concluding and presenting the findings of an investigation, which also covers aspects from the Working Scientifically module of the Department for Education's 2013 National Curriculum in all years. It can also incorporate dialogic teaching when discussing possible predictions or designing a class experiment, as well as when interpreting the evidence. Scott et al. 2007 suggests dialogic talk is a way of increasing learning, as children can engage more with the knowledge and leads to a higher understanding and stimulates higher order thinking. It is different from just normal talk because the teacher does not take an authoritative role and responds to the children's questions as defined by Mortimer and Scott 2004. They also suggest it gives children an opportunity to express their ideas and is important in science as it develops good lines of inquiries, and this is what children are expected to undertake in the Working Scientifically module of the National Curriculum as set by the Department for Education 2013. By asking and making up relevant questions, the children are also fulfilling the criteria within the spoken language area of the National Curriculum 2013. This activity is a good idea and has strong cross-curricular links between English and science, but there are still issues. One of these issues could be that teachers don't give children enough time to answer, as teachers often expect an answer too quickly, as brought up by Harlan 2004. This can deter children from thinking and make them reluctant to answering in class. However, research by Budrow 1974 has shown that by extending the time that a teacher waits for children to answer, it increases the quality of their answers and their thinking. So pauses need to be allowed for this thinking time. It also requires teachers to know how to use dialogic teaching effectively and to have secure subject knowledge, which may require extra professional development as discussed by the General Teaching Council, also known as GTC 2011. This therefore means that teachers have to find time to carry out this personal development, which is an issue in schools at the moment, as mentioned by the GTC 2011, as they don't have enough time for this personal development. This may make teachers reluctant to use this approach to a cross-curricular way of teaching, where dialogic teaching can not only increase scientific inquiry, but also promote the use of spoken language requirements from the Department of Education's National Curriculum 2013. Another issue with using creative investigations is that it involves a lot of preparation and support within the classroom, which again may put teachers off from carrying out such a good way of combining spoken language aspects and scientific inquiry. This, however, could be overcome by inviting additional adults into the school, but that again would require a lot of work and preparation, and so may still put teachers off, according to Holligan, 2013. Another way that you can use science and English together in a cross-curriculum way is to use Wilson's 2002 idea of Bright Ideas Time. This is where you can introduce debate and discussion into your classroom over a science topic. For example, you could use, if the Earth is spinning, why don't we get dizzy? If the Earth is a sphere, why don't the Australians fall off? These are just some example questions that could be allowed for class discussion and debate. It allows children to use their knowledge from science lessons to answer the question, or can be used as an introduction to a new topic. Wilson 2002 stresses that the main aim of the time is to create debate and discussion, and not about finding the right answer, and so this could be slotted into the beginning of a science lesson, but instead of assessing their knowledge, the spoken language skills could be assessed, as this activity also incorporates part of the Department of Education's 2013 National Curriculum, such as using spoken language to develop understanding through speculating, hypothesising, imagining and exploring ideas, and also participating in discussion and debates. This could be a very good idea. The science is given a context to assess spoken language against, just as Harlan suggested in 2006. An issue that is brought to attention by the Wellcome Trust in 2011 by using a survey throughout the UK showed that there was less teaching time dedicated to science since the SATs were abolished in 2009. In this case, the lack of science lessons may cause them to not use cross-curricular approaches, and therefore no debates or no crossing over with spoken language, as the pressure would be to do a pure science lesson as predicted by the Wellcome Trust 2011. However, maybe using a cross-curricular approach between science and English, especially in this case study where it calls for regular science lessons, may actually bring more value to science, and as a result increase more time for science lessons, as English could be incorporated into them. There are still issues with cross-curricular activities, the main one being assessment, as assessment criteria are very subject knowledge based, and to assess these activities would mean focusing on either the English side or the science side for assessment, and therefore cannot truly be cross-curricular according to Rennie et al. 2011 and Hayes 2010. However, it is also argued that with careful planning and clear learning objectives for the teacher and the children, it is possible to assess the two subjects in that one activity, according to Kerry 2011. Even Ofsted in 2008 have also recognised that using cross-curricular approaches when efficiently planned has a positive impact on achievements, as seen in the results of exam and test results. Planning is an issue in cross-curriculum in general. Jarvis in 2009 points out that for it to be effective and beneficial, more time is needed for teachers to enhance their professional development so they can be successful in implementing cross-curricular teaching by making sure they have a balance between the subjects, secure subject knowledge across the whole curriculum, and to be able to develop assessment opportunities within their planning. In conclusion, I have found lots of good points and issues with using cross-curricular learning. However, the main issue is assessment, as it is still subject-specific assessment, and that needs to change if we want to use cross-curricular learning first, according to Hayes 2010. If the issues that are holding back the effectiveness of using a cross-curriculum approach can be addressed, then it might be more successful and implemented in more schools across the country. There's certainly enough evidence to suggest that it would be beneficial to use it. I'd like to end my slideshow with some views of other teachers and how they view cross-curricular learning.
Increasingly on the agenda.
Real world learning.
The whole school working together.
History to science.
Future of education.
Break from the norm.
Dangerous.
Also enjoyable.
Communicating.
Departments for the same project.
For the students to be able to pick up skills and knowledge in one area of the curriculum.
Kind of refreshes your teaching a bit.
Very exciting. Farming back to history.
And to be able to transfer that in some other aspect of the curriculum. That's what we want them to be able to do when they leave.